My name's Emily Firth, and I'm going to talk about creating an EVP without borders. At Booking.com, we have a truly inspiring mission to make it easier for everyone to experience the world. It's a mission that connects our 17,000 employees in 200 offices around the world through this collective passion for travel. We provide a travel benefit for our employees also to help them to experience the world. And we even create amazing individual moments where employees can connect in big ways to our mission, like giving them the chance to win a skydive out of a plane over Machu Picchu. Yes, literally. This is all super inspiring, but let's be real for a moment. A lot of the time our days at work look a little bit more like this. So, to achieve our mission and attract the right talent, we had to find a way to connect future and existing talent to it on a day-to-day basis. But here's the rub. Talent isn't homogenous. Everyone's different, they have different drivers and motivators, especially when you take into account the global scale of the talent we're trying to attract. In truth, we need to understand the motivators and drivers for a diverse and global group of people, especially when we're talking about attracting and engaging talent everywhere from San Francisco to Shanghai. So, is it even possible to create a single global EVP? I believe yes, but only if you do three things. The first, start local up versus global down. The second, create a positioning that's simple and relatable. The third, enable everyone to see their own truth in it. I believe if you can do all three of these things, it is possible to create an EVP without borders. So taking the first point, why do we start with a local lens? Well, as Erin Meyer points out in the culture map, if you assume that culture doesn't matter, your default is to view others through your own lens, which more often than not can lead to misjudgment. So in seeking to understand what would make us distinctive to local talent, cultural framing was essential. Of course, your local brand reputation plays a big role in this. In some markets, you'll be the market leader and everyone will be aware of your global scale. In others, you might not even be on talent's radar. Then, of course, you've got your global company culture coming into play locally. But you have to overlay this with the local cultural context. What I mean by that is, does your stated global culture actually clash with local employer practices? And if it does this give you an advantage with the talent you want to attract? Or does it place you at a disadvantage? And finally, you have individual context, the nuance of the talent you're trying to attract. For example, the difference between high-demand tech talent versus seasonal support staff, or just talent's unique set of circumstances. So all of these cultural factors will impact your local employer brand reputation. So how do we find the red thread? The answer lies, I believe, in seeing these factors as cultural nuance versus cultural difference. Of course, we will always do things differently, but we do need to find the human truths that unite us. LinkedIn Talent Insights are a great way to get a first read on where some commonalities might lie. For example, we can see here that the top 3 employer value attributes for a software engineer in San Francisco are actually the same as they are in Shanghai. But the role of cultural nuance is not taken into account here. That's where you need to get your hands dirty and actually speak to your people. So that's what we did. You should know that even when interviewing your people, cultural nuance is of course also going to play a role. You'll likely need to employ different methodologies to get authentic answers. For example, in some cases, a focus group might work really well in a culture where speaking out's encouraged. But in others, even if you say you have a super open culture, the bias might still be towards saying what you think will please the listener. In these cases, you might need to consider enabling some anonymity. In all cases, I think you should remove HR and people managers from the room to get the most authentic answers. Our research was supported and led by a consultancy partner, 33. What we were looking for were red threads, commonalities that, though they might have different local expressions or nuances, were recurrent themes and these would form the pillars of our EVP. So what did we find? While we found broad commonalities in our Booking.com culture globally, the way this played out in practice locally was very different. For example, we pride ourselves on a relatively flat hierarchy. In our global HQ in the Netherlands, this translated to the ability to make data-driven decisions with big implications autonomously. But in Japan, a culturally very hierarchical working society, even the practice of having informal conversations with very senior managers at your desk was already very different to what people were used to given the cultural context at other companies. So although the way it was manifested locally was nuanced, there was still a common top-level truth. Another example would be our focus as a company on diversity and inclusion. But while in our HQ in the Netherlands this might mean a mentorship program to empower more women into tech, in some of our other offices it was as fundamental as being accepted for your sexuality at work in a local culture where you've typically had to hide who you truly are. So what you can see is local cultural context plays a huge role, but there are still commonalities to be found. Where we found globally consistent truths, even if differently expressed, we turn these into a pillar. And this is where we ended up. Our final EVP has 4 pillars which have been simplified here. They were created from our values, leadership interviews, and road tested with employees across all levels, regions, and functions. At Booking.com, we aim to offer perspectives, exploration, growth, and impact. On the left, our truest pillars. On the right, those which are also true, but which stretch to being deeply aspirational for our people. This helps to future-proof our EVP. But to get from pillars to an EVP, you need to connect these pillars into a single proposition. This is your strategic positioning. Ours was together we remove borders to a world of possibilities, which encompassed all of the ideas contained within those 4 pillars. Going from strategy to a creative expression means simplifying it further into a single emotional rallying cry that everyone can get behind. For us, this became Expand Horizons. Expand Horizons for us encapsulated everything we felt was possible at Booking.com. It fed into our mission, but it didn't require you to get on a plane or jump out of one to do it. It was more than a promise, it was actually a challenge. It was both an action and an outcome. And most importantly, it could be globally understood. It was an EVP without borders in every sense. Our next step was then to bring this to life in a way that would be inspiring for talent everywhere. We started, of course, with engaging our amazing employee base around the world. And here's a peek behind the scenes of what we did. So today we're in Amsterdam shooting our employer brand campaign for Booking.com. Let's go inside and check it out.
Yeah, come on.
So they're just preparing the opening scene. We're going to show you a little bit of the set and what we're filming.
And roll camera.
These are our very generous employees giving us their time to shoot with us today. In their day jobs, they're UX designers, customer service agents. They work in our tech department.
Now we go for the other gentleman. And ready, nice and straight, 3, 2, 1, action.
I'm Lars, I'm from Oslo, and I'm the director of this film. I think what makes this project unique is that every single person in this film is an employee of Booking.com. The casting was really fun.
I go balloonies in the morning because
I've never seen casting videos like that before. They were not typical, I'd say.
Yo, Booking.
I'm Tom. I'm a language specialist in the content agency.
For me, this was a really great opportunity to show the world that I really love working for Booking.
In my casting video, I recorded myself playing guitar. Being a film star for a day, that was really exciting.
Hey everyone, welcome here in the headquarters in Amsterdam where we are shooting our film today.
Hi guys, my name is Johnny Seri. I'm a UX designer.
My role in the movie is actually a receptionist, so switching from being a UX designer and then switching to become the receptionist was actually a very good experience for me.
Expand Horizons is all about Booking.com at the moment. It's all about how we're changing as a business, how we're growing, but it's also about what the people contribute to Booking.com. So everyone here is really challenged to expand their own horizons.
Hi everyone, welcome to our shooting day. We are in Shanghai in the Jing'an office. Say hi to the cameras.
I'm Victor. I'm a data scientist. I'm from Boston. I've been with Booking in Shanghai for 2.5 years now. Personally, I love these kind of projects where, you know, there's motion, there's people working together, like really feeling like a crew.
My name is Susanna.
My name is Maliha Karashi.
Hi, I'm Lei Fen.
Hello guys, my name is Marco from Booking.com Toronto office. I'm originally from Brazil and I'll show you our office around. Come on over.
I love how multicultural our office is. We have people from all over the world, and it is an incredible experience to come to work and share with people from so many cultures. So I love it here.
After so many months of, working towards this day, it's really surreal to see all of our ideas coming to life and having our employees be able to kind of experience this with us.
Hi, I'm on camera, guys.
I hope you enjoyed watching that as much as we did making it. So now you have your rallying cry. It's simple and your employees around the world are engaged. But how do you then activate all of that cultural nuance you discovered in your research? This is where content strategy comes into play and where you get to activate your pillars. It's where our people get the platform to tell the world what Expand the Horizons means for them. And these stories will be your local proof points. Now, this can be done through content that you initiate and create. For example, I want to show you some of the content we created with our amazing employees. Here's a sneak preview.
Growing up in Soweto, I didn't blend in with other boys, and I would always hide how I walk and talk. I didn't know what being different in terms of my sexuality meant.
For us, coming to the Netherlands as a completely blind couple was very challenging. Keeping a positive attitude and a problem-solving attitude is very important.
I want to live in a perpetual state of both professional and personal self-improvement and want to continue to enable to do more of what I do.
If you want to change a culture, you need to do something disruptive. At Booking.com, we make sure that women are better represented in senior positions.
You know, they say if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. That is never the case at Booking.com for me.
I'm not scared to be myself. I don't feel judged for being from a different side of the world. Who doesn't want something that feels like I did this? Not just making the wheels turn, but creating it.
Looking at a company like Booking, you can actually affect the product to be able to change people's lives.
I am doing a job that did not exist when my parents were growing up. And I'm super excited to see what the future will bring. Will my kids be doing a job that I cannot even think about right now? You can be a leader in tech and a mother. I am.
Pretty inspiring, right? I love seeing those stories. What you can also do, though, is encourage employees to create their own content. And that can then be content that you curate through your social channels. Inspire everyone to share their own reflections of what Expand Horizons means for them. So now you have your communication framework, I want to add one final note on distribution without borders. While you might be able to be super scrappy with your production approach, your employees sharing your content can't be your only distribution plan when you're looking at a global scale. To truly be where your future candidates are, you're going to need some media budget and you're going to need insights to spend it wisely. Think about reaching talent in the right places, for example, WeChat in China or native content on tech blogs in Europe. Our EVP rollout was supported by LinkedIn Recruitment Media and was data-driven using talent insights. We also partnered with Mindshare and Verizon. So this is all very well, but is this even working, Emily, you might ask? Well, let's see. So our pre-launch testing indicates that it will. We don't do anything without pre-testing. when we're looking at something on this scale. This was carried out with a cross-section of talent and in multiple markets from the Netherlands to Singapore. And we found that people who were exposed to the campaign were 88% more attracted to Booking.com as an employer, and 90% found it credible for Booking.com, which is very important because we want to be authentic. And our first results from LinkedIn, one of our core activation channels, are also showing really positive results across our first launch markets. We're seeing a 20% increase in mail acceptance rate from those exposed to the campaign and 24% increased job view to apply rate. But these are quite short-term measures. What we're also measuring is the change in perceptions based on our brand pillars over time. So we did a pre and post survey when the campaign is finished, and we're going to look at how we've moved the needle on those brand measures. That's very important for us to create long-term change in how we are perceived as an employer. So our key takeaways then: start local up versus global down, create a positioning that's simple and relatable, enable everyone to see their own truth in it, and a final one I'm going to add at the end: don't expect it to fly without media wings. I hope this has inspired you to expand horizons yourself, and I wish you all the very best with your own creation of an EVP without borders. Thank you very much.